Hey guys, so it's been a long time since I posted the story. Also, sorry for that long wait. But I have to say that I'm not pretty much happy with this chapter. So this chapter may change. Well, I may re-upload this episode sometime in the future. Who knows? When I get back to the story, because who knows? But some of the description is really vague and really stupid. But warning, this chapter does have violence and does have a description of really fast description of aging. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoy.
I also forgot to mention women things happen, like when you have babies. So yeah, anyways, enjoy.
You smiled down at your son, Hito, who had been nibbling on your shirt for a while. I'm sorry, baby. Give me a moment, you said, looking around. Nothing coming into your view until something from behind you. You quickly looked back to see a man in a hood being thrown by Tamaki. His arm cloned into an octopus as he shielded you from whatever was trying to cabin between you and this hooded figure. Yin, get out of here. Make sure Hito is safe. You paused, froze. Who was this? Why were they so quiet? How couldn't you hear them? For sure, it is that they were no good as they stood there, feet, their ground shaking. You took a step back, trembling. Were they out for you? After you found your peace? No, you couldn't go back. You couldn't basically see your sister in pain after coming to your room when she played along with her plan. You wouldn't let that. You didn't want to be the helpless little girl anymore. Well, except little. You looked around, seeing the citizens fleeing from the area as the two fought each other, until you felt a hand on your shoulder. Come on, let's get you out of here. A woman tried to pull you up from the grassy floor. You turned to her. She was scared, but you could see she was willing to help, even if it caused her to be in danger. Take him, please. You stood up to your feet, holding him in your arms. Oh, what? What about you? She asked, shivering. I need to help him. You spoke, worried etched in every word. She looked behind you, then back to you, nodding after a couple of seconds, thinking, and held Hito close, making sure he was all right in her arms before leaving. You turned back to the two, confused as to what was happening. But Tamaki didn't look too well. His arms had cuts and bruises on them from the rocks that had been thrown his way. You looked for any opening, waiting for the right time to do something you had never done, not even though. But you were going to do it until now. You waited, with each strike at him. With every hit the hooded man took, you watched, waiting for the right time. And it finally happened. You saw it. Even when Tamaki was taking more damage, he, the hooded figure, was being pushed more and more backwards towards a tree. You knew the right time was coming soon. So you ran over to the tree as quick as you could, hoping Tamaki would be too busy on him to see you and giving you away. You waited until he was close enough, until you held out your hands and wrapped your hands around his neck up to the tree. Pulling him close, you could hear his head thud against it, using your quirk to age him. Tears falling from your skin as you felt horrid at what you were doing. You could feel his smooth skin become wrinkled and old, his bone structure cracking as well. Was it because of your quirk? Or was it because of the fasting of aging? You didn't know. But the muscles that he had were becoming weaker and smaller, as Tamaki soon ran over, huffing, looking as you fell to the floor. looking at the once young man's old body. You looked, Tamaki. He was huffing and puffing, trying to breathe in air as best he could, as he looked down at you, and then to the man. I'm sorry. You spoke, tears falling from your eyes as you gasped for air. He helped you and stood. You knew he couldn't say anything. Well, you could see that he had a million words running through his head, but just couldn't express them the right way. You gotta turn him back right now, though. He looked around. If anyone was to see him different, they would get suspicious and might know who you are. He looked back to you, and you turned to him. Let me get his hands first. You knelt down, you knelt down beside him. Tamaki knelt down as well, holding his hands together as you used your quirk, starting. His skin tightened over his newly made muscles that had formed after being sunken and shagged as he turned back into his actual age. Tamaki tied his hands together. Now, no one can know you helped me with this, all right? That's when he paused, looking around if something was missing. Where's Hito? He panicked, looking around the place. He's safe, you smiled. You turned and walked to where you saw the woman go. You could hear him following as he panicked and moved faster and faster until he came right beside you. After a bit of walking, you could feel that he wanted to say something. It was quiet, but you could feel and hear the way his lips mumbled words, too quiet for your ears to hear. Thank you, he whispered. You lightly smiled, turning away. Where? You soon heard the voice of an officer with more heroes. They were in the park. I don't know what happened, but... She looked over to the park and saw the three of you. It had been the woman from earlier, with Hito in her arms. There! She spoke as she lightly ran over with Hito. Tamaki going to explain to the police, timidly all the same. He was crying the whole time. I don't know why. I was worried. Shh. It's all right. She was panicking. You giggled, taking him in your arms, as he bit more onto your shirt. Oh! She froze, her cheeks heating up, realizing what he wanted now. You looked down at him, smiling. Now, You looked around. I've been neglecting his needs for a bit. You looked for Tamaki as she nodded, understanding what you meant, seeming as if she also wanted to say something. Man, what was it you and attracting shy, innocent little creatures? Seeing Tamaki cowering away when he was still with the police officers, you had walked over and put a hand on his shoulder. He saved me after the man had tried to kidnap me. You then noticed his arms. Are you okay? You gasped, moving your hand over your mouth. Yeah, I'm fine now. He smiled. Well, all right. We'll let you go get checked out. The officer looked to the man, who was knocked out cold still thanks to your attack. Mostly because you slammed his head against a tree, but who's going to talk about that? But as the two of you walked over to the ambulance, you tapped on his shoulder. I also still need to feed him, you whispered. I think they'll let you have a cover for that, he whispered, covering his face with his hands. Not because of the thought of it, but of the many people cheering his name. You smiled. You know they love you. For you, you said at him. They think you're great. You smiled. He sheepishly smiled back, but didn't move his hand away from his face. He wanted to, but his body wouldn't allow it. The nurse was quick to help you and the two of you once you arrived there, and Tamaki getting checked out for anything else that could have happened. But you and Hito had been taken somewhere else. Hito had finally calmed down after being I'm sorry, ma'am, but we are not allowed to let people in while we work, a male nurse spoke. I just need to know and ask something. It was the same lady as before. Man, how many times were you going to meet her today? You stood up with a wrapped Hito in your hands and walked over. Is something all right? You asked. The male nurse looking at you. This lady is being a ruckus and trying to disturb our work. He looked over. Oh, she's here with me. You lied. The male's eyes suddenly widened, and a hint of pink dusted his cheeks. I'm sorry, I didn't know. He lightly bowed as he walked away, rather fast. Is there something wrong? Something I can help you with? He looked to her, her cheeks stained with tears as her hands clasped. I'm glad to see you and the hero safe and sound, she said, bowing. I'm a teacher at Roku, and She paused, looking at Hito. I dream of becoming a hero at UA. Really at any hero school. If it's all right, when your son gets older, could you enroll him to Roku? She bowed even deeper. Please, there's no need. I'll happily do it. You took care of my son, Hito, when I was gone. I entrusted him with you, when I shouldn't have. It's the least I can do. She looked up, surprised, but a little smile dusting her face. I just know that he will be great someday, even if it's early or late. She looked up at you, then him, all bubbled up and fast asleep, as he didn't know what the heck was going on. For sure he'll forget about this one day. P.S. This is future me, so don't worry. But by the time you are listening to this, I am working on Alien Bakugo Part 3. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed. Love you all. Mwah!